Good morning, students. Today we have a agenda. We're actually going to learn how to eventually figure cubic yards of concrete. Everybody in here knows me. I'm Ralph Maddox. I'm your instructor, and we're going to make this fun as possible. We're going to start out by what we're actually going to use as far as stuff that you already have on your table. There again, we got a notebook. You should have a pencil, calculator, just a regular standard calculator, and also you should have a handout. Now this handout, it's got some shapes on it and some numbers, and we're going to go over that. And our goal is to actually get some of these formulas down to where we can actually figure concrete, or figure water, volume of water. And we also have one other thing on there, and that's going to be your student book. We're going to be working out of chapter 8 today. There again, area measurements and concrete. And we are going to jump right into it. All right, so on your sheets, if you'll notice, on your first page in your sheet, they got some shapes there. So we're going to go over, we're actually going to calculate those shapes. Basically, if you're sitting in the seat right now, the only real thing that you really need to have is some basic math knowledge and some listening skills. So we'll go over this, and I promise you it's painless, and we will blow through this real easy. Now, in previous classes, we went over area. Area is just a two-dimensional object. It is length times width. If you were going to figure the carpet for this classroom that you're in right now, all you need is your area, length times width. And now, we stepped in a little bit in previous classes on volume, but we didn't delve into it as much as we are today. Today we're going to really dig into the volume area and do some examples. And then the goal here is to be able to figure concrete just as easy as you can, area and volume and in the yards. So the reason I have them lined up like this is because you really can't get volume without first getting area. So on your sheet, you'll notice that I have one of the squares there is basically a 10 by 10, right? So it's 10 feet wide and 10 feet long. Now that's real, because of the previous classes, that's really easy. It's length times the width. So 10 times 10 equals 100 square feet, right? So now that we've created the area, so if we wanted to go and take the next step and go into creating the volume aspect of it, and if you'll see on the formula here, it's length times width times height. You got a third character in there. This height of depth is the difference between area and volume. But like I said, you have to have area first before you can actually complete the formula for volume. So on your first volume questionnaire, we have a shape, basically just what I just had as far as the area. But to join those two together, we have a third part to that. So you remember the first one was 10 foot by 10 foot. right? We created area there. Now I'm going to give you a depth or a height, all right? So this is a volume measurement where it is 10 foot by 10 foot by 4 inches. Now the big issue here is that if you notice, this 10 foot is in the feet, and then you got 4 inches. Now how would we put this in a mathematical equation? Well, you really can't do length times width times height because the height is in inches. So we have to convert that back to parts of a foot. There again, I wrote it out so we could get a gist of it, right? So basically we're going to take that 4 inches and we're going to divide it by 12 parts of a foot, which is 4 inches divided by 12, because it's 12 inches in every foot. So the parts of the foot will be represented by the 4. So we will actually get a decimal there. And we can grab our calculators and we can actually do this equation right here. And it's just 4 divided by 12 equals 0.333. Now we have a decimal equivalent number that we can actually put into the equation. So now we have a length of 10 feet times a width of 10 feet times 0.333. Now, what you're gonna, the math is there, and you're gonna come up with the answer of 33.333. Now, what I want you to do is, we just went over that. What I want you to do now is I want you to do this particular, everything is going to stay the same except the inches. So we're going to change that to 6 inches. Now you got an area of 10 feet by 10 feet by 6 inches. And what we want to do is come up with the answer there. Now I'll give you a second to do it. And as you're doing it, I'm going to do it right along with you. All right, anybody got the answers? So I'm gonna walk through here before you answer that. I'm gonna walk through, and it's 10 times 10 times, now this number is now going to change because that used to be 4, but now we have changed that to 6 inches. So the formula is basically staying the same, and the way I do it, guys, and this is just a different way of doing it, I just go 6 divided by 12 times 10 times 10, right? And if you do that on your calculator real quick, basically what that does is it gets you away from using the equal, because you remember how we did this and we hit equal and then I had to transfer that over? What if I'd have moved that decimal in the wrong spot or something? My calculator would do it for me, all right? So I start out 6 divided by 12 times 10 times 10, and we got 50, all right? Sorry, I put a dot in there. Dot goes behind it. So now our area is 50 cubic feet, all right? So now we're gonna move on to, sorry, I erased that too. But we're gonna move on to, well, now we've established, we've got an understanding of area, it's just length times width. Now we move to volume, which is length times width times height. And now we're gonna move to yards. And if you look on your handout, you actually have a handout on your sheet that actually has some numbers already on there. So before we go from this to this, so to draw a conclusion here, you created area by length times width, you created volume, length times width times height, and yards. We're going to actually convert cubic feet into cubic yards. And the way you do that is a simple formula: length times width times height divided by 27. Where did that 27 come from? It takes 27 cubic feet sorry, had a little momentary brain, is equal to 1 cubic yard. So it takes 27 cubic feet to make 1 cubic yard. So 27 is your divisible. All right, so let's do one of those yards. And here, I've got everything laid out here, and on your paper, you can draw this particular figure, and you can actually work it out just like we did the other ones. And while you're doing that, I'm gonna walk around and make sure that we're getting the gist of it, make sure we're on the right page, and we'll carry on from that. So we'll give you a second. All right, so what we're gonna do real quick, so I'll work this out in the formula that we established previously. So remember your 6 inches, you gotta get parts of a foot. All right, so how do we do that? We divide by 12, right? So 6 divided by 12 times your length, 22, times 12, that's going to equal your cubic feet. Now the conversion to that is going to be that magical 27. So we might as well go ahead and put it out here, divide it by 27. And if you grab your calculator real quick, clear it out, make sure that you start out with a good clean slate there. 6 divided by 12 times 22 times 12 divided by 27. Now, this is my answer. This is not in your book, as you can see. This particular figure is not in your book as far as the figuring part of it, but I come up with 4.888. Now, how many of you got that right? Wow. Well, I think if we've done that, do you want to do the next step? There's 2 more steps left to this lesson. One is actually we're going to physically go out into the shop, and we're actually going to measure a frame that I already have out there, a concrete pour per se. We're going to measure that. We're going to come back on our legal pads. We're going to figure out how much concrete we actually need to order for the truck. And then after that, I think any more practice that we need, we can handle that. After that, I got a little short quiz, if you want to call it a quiz, or accomplishment test after that. And that would conclude our class.